So the Sunday, I thought I would check in again as I'm finished with my classes early today. And I wanted to have a little chat about what happens when you stop combing your hair, right? Stop combing, additionally, stop twisting, stop oiling your hair. What possibilities for your hair, especially if you're someone with very fine cottony hair? What could be the possibilities? What could possibly happen? That's what we're going to chat about today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Body Culinary, aka Kwasa Peaceful Eating, and on this channel, I share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance. What that looks like for me is really celebrating, appreciating, and being creative with the features that I have been divinely assigned, right? Not fighting against it, but really going on a rabbit hole to see what my hair and my features can do. So I also share on this channel um, three lifestyle practices that give you back so much more investment of your time, your attention, your energy, and investment, right? You should be getting more back than what you put in if it's a good investment. So those three leverage lifestyle practices are garden therapy slash nature therapy, peaceful consumption, aka food that demonstrates that it loves you back. It demonstrates it, right? The proof is in the pudding. And then a daily personal movement practice, which is the foundation of administering very deep therapy to you that has uh, very marked, definite effects on your psychology, your mentality, your body chemistry. Again, these are really, really huge investments into the 401k of your vitality. So those are the types of things that I share on this channel. I am Kwasa. I am a natural born woman. Shout out to you, whatever your expression is. I am also a professional chef, a trainer, building coach, and I coach folks, and those folks that are addicted to junk food or just want to get off of the hamster wheel of dieting. I focus, and my foundation is whole, fresh, living, processed foods. If anything, there may be some minimal processing that you do yourself with a few recipes. Why? Because the food then is nutrient dense. You know exactly what's in it. And we hear so much that food is your medicine. Yet, even when we're going to the health food stores, if you look at many of our carts, we still have many of our carts are filled to the brim with so much products, things that can sit on the shelf indefinitely. So that's a big distinction from whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods. Whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods have a lot of enzymatic activity, a lot of life force. It's very nutrient dense. A lot of the living water is intact in the foods, right? So you cut out the guesswork basically, and your food is literally is like your vitamins, and that can be challenging, especially in the times that we're in with very depleted soil, so much contaminants in the air and the water. So I think perhaps the best that I can do is to eat fresh, unprocessed foods, and that's a lot. Being that I was once a junk food junkie coming from a Caribbean and a Southern background. So I think that's the best that I can do. And once I've done my best, I wash my hands. I don't want to be stressed out about my food choices. So keeping things very simple, I've taken a lot off the table and freed up a lot of energy, mental, emotional headspace to focus on other things that are priority, like my movement practice, like my garden, like preparing beautiful food for myself. So those are lifestyle practices. So in any event, very, very hot here. After my classes, I decided, not that my hair was dirty or anything, I just decided to wash it because sometimes it's very, very soothing. So it's still damp. I just came out quite a few minutes ago, right before I came on. And so my hair is flat. So I'm not really, they will clump together very, very quickly. So I'm not sweating that, but just so you can see what it looks like. Although my hair is very fine, it will join together very quickly. I did one experiment a couple of months ago to see how long it would take for my locks to join. And this was just very loose with no twisting. These joined together very quickly. I don't think it was even 2 months that it took. And now this is, I think this would be hard to get out now. This is locked. So I have let my locks combine. They're about 30, 31, 32 locks max. They're all flat. Some are more flat than others. Some are really, really super pancake flat. But I've decided to embrace it and to go along for the ride to see what my hair could do. So this is an example of what your hair can look like if you stop combing it. With very, very fine hair, quite periodically, I will trim this. There have been a few times where I've repaired a couple of locks to see what that would look like with a little bit of thread that looked like my color hair if they had weak spots from where I used to twist it and wear lots of beads and cowrie shells. I really love that. But my hair is really fine and delicate. So I suppose all of this will continue to break off. I'll trim it off over time. And now that I've let them combine so that they will have a firmer base, this is what it could look like if you have fine hair. I don't have any dye. I don't plan on dyeing it. Why? Simply because the majority of folks that I've seen that have dyed their hair, pretty much consistently, they've all experienced some damage. So I'm not really into damaging my hair and my skin. If anything, if I felt like it was hanging on by a string, or if it all fell out or something, things happen, I would just simply shave it off and really wear it really low. So I really find that my own hair is the best possible match for me. Uh, First of all, emotionally, mentally, physically, not being beholden to so many products, which I absolutely found very, very stressful. I found it mentally, it was just too much clutter on the brain. So I'm not anti makeup, though embracing my own hair and skin. And sometimes I wonder if we're becoming, or popular culture is conditioning us to not be used to anymore to what people really, really look like. If it's becoming an aberration, or we're having a lot of disdain for what it is we actually look like. So I don't know. That doesn't really sit right with me, right? I'm very passionate about um, enjoying my time in my human suit, and as I've said before, I think that we deserve to feel comfortable and our own hair and skin is met, especially as we move throughout the different phases of life. Having children, you go through your maiden phase, and your mother should you decide to have children, and then your crone phase. These are different phases of life. Even with the best care, eating living foods, and daily movement, the body is going to age. So I'd rather accept that and be able to be comfortable and just light about that. And the best that I can do is to take really extra good care of myself. So without combing, with no oil, my scalp always feels fantastic. It never feels dry. It never feels flaky. Actually, my hair is drying very, very quickly as I don't have any oil in it to trap any odors or scents or any buildup in my hair. So it's very rare I will have any kind of buildup. So as the hair is matured, I can see exactly what my hair looks like. So these haven't been joined or sewed together, which is actually pretty amazing. I've allowed them to grow together. So I see the whip locks. I really don't know that my hair can take that because it's so fine and delicate. But this is an example of the possibilities of what our hair can look like if we don't comb it and we don't oil it. I actually like it. I'm embracing it because of the ease. Um, Not having to put so much thought. It is a wonderful feeling to be able to lay on the floor or take yoga, to jump into a workout, jump into the shower, massage my scalp, let my hands and the water run through my hair. I can feel how clean and soft and spongy it feels. It smells really clean and fragrant, not perfumey. I don't like a whole lot of perfumes. I can slick it behind my ear. And I think of one of the more popular styles, as we look at other styles with our natural hair, sometimes try to mimic popular styles, which I often find somehow doesn't never seems to work out for my hair. But sometimes when you see sister girls with the straight hair pieces on and tucked behind the ear, it's like, well, this is what it would look like with kinky, cottony, and fine cottony Afro textured hair. And I find it such a relief to know that we can have a part down the middle, and although our hair initially grows this way, as it gets a little bit of length, it will start to cascade and will start to fall as it gets more weight. If you don't have oil in it, it's going to be light. It still has a little water, but it'll be light and it'll be fluffy. So it's interesting for me to see what my hair looks like. Now it has body in it without oil. It doesn't feel heavy. Um, if I want to throw it back into a quick ponytail. Now, being I used all of these were double, so maybe I had about 60 something locks, right? So when you have less locks, the style is going to look, and I think that's the light reflect. I have a list reflecting on I have a gray that's coming in here. So it's going to look different. It is going to look different when you don't have it slicked down with gel. To me, that would be just more stress. So I'm not feeling to do any of that. And the sun is going to be going down here pretty soon. But this is what our hair can look like with no comb, no anything. Maybe periodically with a really soft, greetings, with a really soft baby brush, periodically you can brush it, but it's not much buildup. Again, the hair will join together very easily. And sometimes I just don't feel, I don't know, I feel very relaxed. I don't want to pull it apart all the time. So I don't feel scared. I know it's very clean and my scalp feels wonderful. But it's beautiful to not just have to think about your hair so much. And as someone that's had a lot of acne, to not have a whole bunch of oil and stuff running down your face. It's perfect for workouts and all of that. But this is an example of what it can look like. It does have a little bit, I can't have a little length to it now because I can feel it like white carpet on my neck when I work out. So often I will have two ponytails or my two Afro buns or pulling up into a ponytail. But I'm not slicking it. I don't like a whole lot of pulling. I don't like discomfort. I don't care for pain. I feel like it's just so much more distraction that I don't need. So my priority is my movement practice. My priority is the garden. My priority is laying on the floor sometimes and doing nothing, which is very restful. As I was journaling today, I was thinking about the term. You hear some people say your personal relationship with God. So however you identify. I was thinking I referred to that as essence. You can say ancestors, source, whatever you want to call it. But, as you acquire wisdom and life experience, likely a lot of things will change along your journey. You'll likely change your food several times. You'll likely change your hair, your perspectives on parenting, or whether you want to be a parent or not, your perspective on relationships. As you acquire more experience and life wisdom, those things will likely change. So, I would have never thought that I would not oil or grease my scalp. Who knew? Who knew that I would want to move to different parts of the world? So I think taking a lot of things off the table that we can be preoccupied with, like again, thinking of hair when it's time for adventure or fun, it's the last thing on my mind. And also to feel comfortable if I was to go into a corporate setting or if I wanted to get dressed up, I feel confident that I can be creative with my own hair. And again, this is not anti other hair or that I can't appreciate makeup and other kinds of styling, but there's nothing like the sense of confidence and esteem from knowing that your hair is the best for you. It's the easiest. It doesn't require me having to shape shift my whole self. And for me, again, other folks may be having a different experience. That's not necessarily wrong. I had a jerry curl and a gold tooth one time. Go figure. Though I know for me, as I've observed my internal dialogue over the years, to feel like when I take things off, if I notice I felt dejected or not as confident, that kind of stood out to me. And as I like to say, I've retrained my eyes several times. I've retrained my eyes to be intentional around my dialogue, my internal dialogue, to appreciate what it is that I have and accepting that it changed. Now, this is an organic human suit. It's going to change. So I want to take the very best care of it. So I can pull it into low buns if I want. Now I know I can pull it low buns. I don't worry about it all being cut even. I don't really care about that. I don't care about a really super straight part. I remember one time I used to take a little comb and try to part it. So it just becomes more and more carefree, and sometimes it brings a smile to my face because it's just such a removal of stress. And stress is a lot. Stress will have you secreting a whole lot of extra cortisol that can and cholesterol that can the body makes its own cholesterol in addition to the cholesterol we take in from animal products. But the body can secrete cholesterol in order to counteract the acidic environment from stress as a physiological response to stress, and that can clog up your arteries. So your brain quite often is not making the distinction with all these different types of stress and anxiety. A lot of it is being triggered by being on the internet. And I think in spite of ourselves, subconsciously, when you're scrolling, we almost can't help but compare ourselves to other people. So if you're going to age, you're going to get grays. It doesn't mean that you've given up or that you don't like grooming, because I love grooming and self-care. It's very relaxing to me. Though there is something so, I don't know what to call it. There's something so calm, reassuring to know, like, can you imagine if the most beautiful wig you ever put on, if it was actually your hair? And how many people would be like jumping in the street like, oh, this wig that I'm putting on, it's actually my own hair, right? So I like to think the hair that I thought that I wanted is the hair that I have, the hair that I always wanted, how I wanted it to behave with body, and to be able to wash it at the drop of a dime, or to get up and to go. That's like, wow, I actually have that hair. I used to wonder how come I, as a chocolate person, as a chocolate woman, or as a chocolate girl when I was younger, how come they, our vanilla counterparts, how come they can get up and go? Why can't we do that? But guess what? We actually can, right? So the hair that I want is the hair that I have, and it was made just for me, and it's so carefree. What else can I say? This is what it can look like if you don't oil it and you don't comb it. It will join together. I can separate it, but I'm not in the mood to do that right now. It's super clean. The sun is getting ready to go down, but our hair does have a sheen. I mean, should I pull this apart? Yeah, I think I'll pull it apart a little bit, but it has, it's very, very clean. It's cottony. It's soft. I just don't feel like doing anything to it other than keeping it clean, and it's such a relief. It barely gets any lint. Maybe sometimes if I'm lazy and I don't cover up one of my big fluffy pillows, but it doesn't attract things from the garden because it doesn't have the oil in it. So there are possibilities. It's a rabbit hole to see what your hair will go, what it will look like, especially if it's fine. There are some women, I know some of us choose to get braid locks or micro locks or sister locks. As you mature and your hair texture may change. Sometimes you can go through really stressful periods in your life. That can actually, for some people, change the texture and the density of your hair. Who knew? That can cause your grays, to take off like wildfire. So many of us may be looking at options for what to do with our hair. And again, not to make any of those things bad or wrong, but sometimes when I look on YouTube and I see women, and we're in the phase of life where you've worked hard for your education and to find what your path is going to be in raising your children. And to see us, sometimes, again, not necessarily true, just one woman's perspective, but I can't imagine just taking straight glue and putting it on my skin and on my scalp. I'm like, that physiologically is so toxic, those chemicals going near the brain. We used to get our ears singed with the hot comb, and then the caustic chemicals. I had chemical burns all over my scalp. So to be at this phase of life and to have to literally put glue all over my scalp, I don't, to me, subconsciously, it would signal shame. It signals shame that it's more of I'm not good enough. And I would think that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that we are just exhausted. Like we exhausted to the core. I think it signals depression, shame, depression, which can trigger self medication with food or with other substances, right? Not just consciously, but subconsciously, because nothing escapes the subconscious. And it kind of goes around the back, your mental processing, that although society and marketing signals to you feel good with this product, If you don't have the product, you feel like you're not good enough, or I can't go outside without my makeup. I can't go to the park. I can't exercise. That's like a prison, and I'm not here for it. It's hope at some point in life, it's a time to celebrate freedom. Hopefully we've acquired some wisdom, which is not the same as just acquiring a whole bunch of information. Wisdom from life experience, from life experiences, from lessons learned. Hopefully we get to a point of life, we haven't jacked ourselves up and done too much damage, where we can just um, start to give a lot of healthy validation to ourselves that I'm good enough. And not only you can enjoy your time in your human suit in your 30s and your 40s, your 50s and your 60s. Don't you want to enjoy the second half of your life? In addition to, when you consider many of the things that we're putting into our bodies, call me very simple, right? But if I'm putting something that doesn't belong in the body's going, at a basic level, is going to have a response, usually an inflammatory response to the substance that doesn't belong in the body. So we have so much stuff to work with, and so many things that are contrary, that work in contrary to our health. It's like, I think perhaps the simpler we can make things. Simple doesn't mean that we don't enjoy, because I enjoy my hair. But the simpler we can make things, perhaps that can make more mental, emotional space for relaxation, for contentment, for presence, for awareness, right? For appreciation of the sound of the birds and the trees. Maybe we don't so much loud internal radio stations and so much loud dialogue that is triggered and on automatic pilot and looping, that you can't even appreciate the natural sounds that are around you, because it's just too much noise in our heads, and we can't wait till the stores open so we can get the next product. So again, none of it is right or wrong. I'm not the food police or the hair police. We're all at different points in our journey. Though I can tell you, I consider this hair, my Afro flower, as I call her, is freedom. And if it's hanging on by a shoestring, I kid you not, I have no qualms with getting a set of clippers and shaving it off. We have so many options. We have so many options for our hair. And as we transition, I can think of numerous women. It's like, I can't see us getting to the wisdom phase, the crown of the wisdom phase, and going yet into another prison in the second half of our lives. I say no, no, no. So hopefully this has provided some insight and some encouragement for you. We have options, whether if you're not a really good cornrower, if you're not good at cornrows, I wasn't the best at cornrows. I discovered double strand twists. I took those to the hilt. Double strand twists, loose double strand twists, a short peach fuzz. I've cut all different kinds of designs in my hair. I found going to barbershops, I didn't necessarily want to be in an environment where I had to be subjected to, men folks, their talk, and they talk about their wives and their women and the ball game and the different stuff. It just wasn't my energy. So I'm particular about the energy when it comes to not just grooming, but it's almost like a ritual of taking care of yourself. So again, even though, I'm not anti-makeup, but I do prefer my own skin, just the relaxing yourself and letting the water run over your hair and your scalp. It's almost like a type of meditation, right? An active, intentional meditation. And I have intentionally retrained my eyes. So the flowers that I have in my bathroom, the incense that I'm around, the environment as I'm grooming myself, that's sustainable. That's something we have access to. That's something that you can do for yourself daily or whenever you feel like it in your own home, when you pay rent or you pay mortgage. You feel me? Oh, you can't hear anything. Uh-oh. Hopefully, I don't know. So I'm going to end this, and I'm going to have to go back and replay and see if my speaker was picking up at all. Oh my gosh. Is this on Bluetooth? Oh, maybe my speaker was on the whole time. Oh my gosh. I hope I don't have to come back and do this whole thing over. Thank you, Journey to Vitality. So I'm going to end the stream, and depending on if I can hear anything or not, maybe I'll come back. Speak to y'all soon. Was my speaker on?